Let not hate rule thy heart. Let not fear break thy will. Let not wrath cloud thy mind. Let not midnight stand eternal. Blades and Blasters presents Eternal Midnight by Rogue. This is Demon Gate, a fantasy setting filled with horror and grief. Keep your fires high, else perish in the darkness.
And at the end of days, the first sign shall appear in the heavens. Justice shall fall upon the world of men. The armies of light and shadow will clash across the fields of eternity.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the next episode of Demon Gate. This session is for Team Human, or Team Exile. I kind of like that name, so shout out for an awesome fan, Groon, for throwing the name out there. Don't want to steal it, so gotta give him props. Tonight's game is composed of players Ghost as the Hunter, Slip as Keltiel, Matihi is playing Vroon, and Walter Peck is possibly playing Farthnar. We also have guest appearance by the Dude. TT will be playing the Dwarf Merchant Grumbled. I'm Rogue. I'm the GM, also the creator of Demon Gate. If you're interested in the system, be sure to check it out at drivethrurpg.com and the website www.arcanumsyndicate.com. Thank you for checking out next installment of Blades and Blasters, and be sure to like and subscribe. Coming close to the end of the Demon Gate soon, only a few more episodes left. So let's play. You guys got sight over there? Let's see. Boop. Shoo, shoo.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
And hopefully, TD you can see as well, right?
Yeah, sorry, I pushed the wrong button, and now my Roll20 reloaded.
Cool. You all stand in the chambers of the lower dungeons beneath the school. The place you are told to never go by your so-called teacher, the one the many call the Master. The one who you believe to be Asmund, or so, that is his body. The true Master seems to be called Maltiok. This place holds one of the foulest odors you have yet to smell. Most of the old stone walls are covered in molds and slime. Many of the stones have fallen out, and this place looks as unstable as it does frightening. The torchlight spills over the chains, the skeletons and the rats that feast on old portions of flesh still clinging to the bones of mortals. Insects buzz about, primarily cadaver flies. Most seem to come from the center chamber's oubliette. Farthnar had been thrown into the northernmost chamber, and luckily, when he hit the pile of bones and ash, he wasn't simply eaten alive by undead. It seemed as though any undead that had been in that chamber had already met their end long ago. Farthnar's chamber had plenty of handholds and a chain dangling down the center of the hole, almost as if someone wanted him to be able to escape. Or perhaps someone had used it to escape before, many years ago. The ranger had climbed up the walls. Leaping and grabbing the chain, he swung from it, with his broken body trying to pull himself from the horrid darkness, pulling himself towards the only way out. He could hear the battle going on above, no doubt his friends trying to come for him. The others were fighting the undead of this place, making their way into the dungeon. He could hear the incantations of Keltiel's magic. He could hear her fumbling on words, cursing, and explosions of magical power. He could hear blades and arrows, the unmistakable war cry of Rune, shouting down the hall for someone to, "Come on, hit me!" Keltiel and Hunter reached Farthnar just in time to catch the ranger before he slipped from the chain and fell back into the darkness. They were able to pull him up and heal him a bit more. Still, his condition was so bad, he was battered and had obviously been tortured by Maltiok. His bones had been broken with magical spells. Then, he was most likely healed and forced back together. It was the most painful experience he had ever had to endure, and it had taken a toll on him both mentally and physically. Yet he was there now, with his friends again, and with Keltiel. After healing him, Farthnar's head rests in Keltiel's lap, just wanting rest, just wanting some kind of rest. He took what he could as Hunter and Varun began to search the walls and the pits of these chambers. Keltiel looks over the journal, the notes of the dark book that had been thrown into the oubliette to forget about it. It was abhorrent to gaze upon, the words of a madman. She reads the words aloud as you all begin to explore the surroundings and look for a passage, a possible way out. You all know there isn't much time left, and you need an answer now. It has been far too long, and you are running out of excuses to feed the master. If you are caught down here, who knows what he would do, after seeing what he did to Farthnar, or Tibbus, as he called him. He blamed Tibbus for leading you into the summoning chamber without permission. If he finds you now, things could get even worse.
It pains me to think of what I must do because of Marion's curiosity. If only she would have let it alone. So many questions, always asking so many questions. I told her not to worry about such matters, that it would only make me stronger to study the dark magic as well. One day a tragedy will befall us, and it will be good for me to know how to handle such a problem. Besides, it was an angel that gave this information to me. The angel that I summoned, Asmodiel, gave me this wisdom from the realms of Valhalla, from the very realm beyond the veil. I must admit, the power grows addictive. Who are we to question the actions of the angels and the gods? When Marion came to me, I could see it in her eyes. She cried and asked me why I had forsaken the gods, the pantheon of light. Ha! Foolish woman, if If you only knew what I have seen beyond the realm of the dead. Asmodiel was around before any of these gods came to be. He fought in the war of the heavens and the hells, and yet he claims to merely be a servant of the Maker, the one true god. Asmodiel tells me to use whatever magic I wish. Knowledge is power, and that I can have it all. The Pantheon of Light, Beargard, Ghana, even Nalok, the god of magic that I once revered. They are merely saints that reached the ascension and passed the test of the immortals. They are merely lords placed to watch over the realms of heaven. Tomorrow I will go before the council and tell them the truth. This is what she wants. For the sake of our love and the sake of our innocent daughter who cares nothing of these politics, she only wishes to play and learn about the stars in the sky. I envy my daughter in that innocence. When I see the carelessness, the kindness in her eyes, it makes me wish that I was like her. I will continue to summon Asmodiel for guidance. He has been kind enough to continue to speak with me and grant me so much knowledge. I can only hope the council will be lenient in their judgment. I need to have them come and witness the angel's power with their... Now I see the truth. She lies. She speaks behind my back, whispers and conspires against me. Asmodiel was right. She is doing this to steal away our daughter and to take the power away from me. She has always been jealous. He knows the future and has taken me into the 10th dimension to the divine to witness what will happen. She will betray me. She will run away and take my daughter with her, for she thinks I am going mad. She calls Asmodiel a demon in disguise and thinks I have fallen from grace. How can I make her understand? I suppose it is too late. I have already tried showing her the truth behind it all. She recoils now even from my touch. Soon, she will try to take my daughter away. Oh, the horror. The horror. I cannot exist with this in my mind. Asmodiel, where are you? Help me erase this from my mind. The voice of my daughter asking me if I'm all right. She was so frightened. I must be cleansed of these thoughts, of these memories. I didn't mean to kill them both. Silence their screams. They are maddening. My only child. The magic to awaken her will not work. Asmodiel, where are you? Where have you gone to? I have tried the ritual so many times. It is too late. My daughter is gone. There was not enough left of Marion to resurrect. And too much damage to my little girl to bring her back. Asmodiel will not speak to me. I will give you anything. Please. I pray to thee. Please answer my call. I cast her tiny body into the well. She loved that place so much. Perhaps now, all of her dreams will come true.
After Keltiel finishes reading the journal, you basically understand now that he must have killed his wife and child, and he threw the body of his daughter into the well that you guys had gone to before. So there are 4 chambers in here. The center one seems to hold the most movement. The light from the torch illuminates the darkness of the pit, and you can see the many rotting faces looking up toward you, reaching for the light. Their moans and haunted looks on their pale, aged faces could easily invoke more pity than anything. There are many undead down there, thrown into this one pit. It looks deeper and impossible to crawl from. That's when you see the dark-skinned one, still preserved by the immortality and the curse of unlife. The black magic still holding him together in the rotten face of what could only be Zulu, the turban-headed man you read about in his journal. So far from his home in Bazoon Denal. He stands in the flickering light of the torch with his dark-skinned child in his arms. He's holding the child up towards the light as well, and the child's arms are raised, reaching for the light of your torch. Also suffering the unkind effects of the necromantic magic. Zulu's undead child and himself still hold on to a bit of resemblance of what they once looked like. You notice Zulu and his wife and another older teenager. It seemed he finally did find them. There's many other undead down there as well. What do you guys want to do at this point?
Keltiel has been busy reading the journal while they're looking around. And as she finishes reading the journal, she lets the book slump into her lap and she closes it. Even though they understand more now of Maltiak and his history, there's nothing about the way out. She shuts her eyes and tries to stem the rising tide of panic. Aslan Maltiak, he would find them soon and he would probably kill them. She must look out for him. Thinking to increase her second sight, she reaches into her pack and pulls out a dry root, a fire spirit salt. She begins to chew it, and as the juices flow down her throat, the world takes on an eerie glow. She looks down at Farthnar, at his battered form, broken, reformed, over and over again. She can see the pain of what he had suffered as a tangible aura under the influence of this root. After all they had been through and sacrificed, was this to be their fate? Virun would not save her brother. Hunter, with his single-minded determination, he deserved to face his brother, to make a stand. And Farthnar, having followed her here, he would be rewarded with death, and worse than death. And Yuya, Keltiel stifles a sob. There would be no real goodbye, no reconciliation, no chance to forgive and be forgiven. Her sister would be left to face this demon, perhaps to die, not knowing what was in Keltiel's heart. Something breaks inside Keltiel's chest. A dam built from a life of pain and loss and rage against the gods. With so much at stake, holding on to that old barrier seems suddenly pointless. She reaches into her pocket and she pulls out that small symbol of Ghana that she found in Vieira's chamber. She holds it to her heart, and the words she had found written there echo in her mind, and she seems to hear her sister's voice. And those who falter must be redeemed, for it is easy to know what is right and what is wrong when you hold the knowledge of the light. Was it possible? Could the gods hear her prayer and see them out of this place? Some remaining ember of rebellion flared to life. No, she couldn't ask. The gods didn't deserve her fealty. But with the realization that perhaps nothing short of a miracle could save them, that ember stills and grows dark. The writing on the wall of the chamber of Jakai flares in her memory. I know you never believed, but I do, and I still pray for you. It was as if her sister's spirit was reaching out and taking her by the hand. With tears streaming down her cheeks, Keltiel's spirit reaches toward the heavens. And for the first time since she was 5 years old, she prays. Ghana, this is Keltiel, Yuya's sister. The bad one. I don't know if you are listening or care, But Yuya says that you are, and that you do, and for once, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I haven't seen much evidence of that in my life, but perhaps you have been saving up all of those blessings, eh? Perhaps you are waiting for me to really need a big one. And I do. I do not fear death, Ghana, but this is not where I wish to die. My friends, they all deserve to live, to see the sky again. I am not asking for immortality. Death will come sooner or later, but please, give us a chance to see this through. Let Viren fight for her brother, and let Hunter confront his. Let Fafnar walk under the stars and prove to himself that he is a man of courage. And let me see my Yuya, and help her on her path, whatever she chooses. Let me be the shield at her back, and the mirror at her side. For this chance, I will forgive all. My father's death, my mother's abandonment, my sister's silence, the priest who wouldn't stop touching me, and the priestess who caned me for biting him, for stealing my mind and my fire, and allowing my sister to be possessed by some thing that was meant to kill her. I forgive it all. Just help us now. But if you can't do that, if that isn't your will, and your Hime, please, watch over Yuya. She has always been your faithful servant. In thy holy name I pray. Amen.
Nice. With the taking of the fire salts, I think is what you took. It adds a D6. So could you roll a D6 and see what kind of bonus you're going to get to your spiritual?
Just one. Well, does she get any bonus from using the symbol at all?
Oh, yeah. Roll a D3. Damn it. Okay, so it's a +1 symbol. And that's a constant whenever you hold it.
Okay, so just
she'll,
add
she'll have
plus
+2 to her normal spiritual.
Nope, no successes.
All right. So, of course, when you pray, you don't hear any answer at all. And Hunter and Varun, what are you guys doing at this moment? Farthnar is coming in and out of consciousness, it seems like, and he looks up to you, and he's trying to offer a smile to you, some kind of offering to give you strength, but he's not speaking at all. And Varun and Hunter, what are you guys doing?
She's pacing around this place, looking into the many holes, peering down if there's no undead there, seeing if there's any way out. And did Keltiel, that was all out loud, yes?
Well, the reading was out loud. The prayer was probably out loud, but I can't say she was probably shouting it. If you stopped to listen, you could probably have heard what she said.
Yeah, Keltiel Reed paces around looking in these holes, seeing Zulu and his family finally reunited down there. She's got a sad expression on her face, knowing that if something happened to her brother, she'd probably do the same, do almost anything to get him back. And as she casts a gaze down, she looks over to Hunter, assuming she knows exactly what he's about to do, if he hasn't thought of it already. And thinking on the words that were said in the book, thinking of the well where the little girl was cast down, that Tuvion has to be the place they have to go next. Either to take her body and burn it, finally giving her release from this place, or maybe there is some way out. If not, well, they'll find it. Beyond knows they'll find it. Whether they have to fight their way out or discover something, she's not giving up hope in seeing her brother again and getting free. The fire in her heart still remains strong as she paces around and looking down as Keltiel sobs quietly and prays to Ghana. She understands that breaking point. But Vion is not there yet. She keeps an eye out now, standing in front of the doorway, keeping ears out, watching and waiting.
Hunter, he starts to unfurl some of his flint and tinder, preparing to start another fire, one like many before, where he intends to set ablaze this entire pit of abominations. He looks around to see if there's any fuel, alcohols, anything like that that might make the fire burn more quickly to get this task out of the way. After all, he doesn't plan on leaving any undead alive, in their state of unlife. He'll do a quick search around the nearby rooms, but if he finds nothing, he'll make do with just burning one, letting it catch the rest on fire. And we'll strike up a torch and drop it to the bottom of this oubliette and watch the fires begin to catch.
Yeah, he's able to find the to furnace billowing in the other chamber, so you're able to find some in there. Also, you guys can make a perception check too while you're looking around.
I wasn't gonna roll because Keltiel wasn't looking around.
Yeah, that makes sense. Vern doesn't see. The hunter, you're able to notice that down in those oubliettes that there is no escape from inside there. And the center one is pretty much the only one that holds the undead. Like a huge crowd of them.
Yeah, he'd waste no time. He'd just torch it, flame it, and watch, make sure the fire catches, and then stand up from the side and look at everybody else. There are no ways out in this end.
Keltiel will look down into the pit, standing up, wiping her eyes. She'll say, "That's a good start." And then she'll point down at it and increase it. Rogue, you said that in situations like this, it doesn't require a roll. It's only the stress of combat that you need to...
Right, yeah.
Okay, so she'll throw a spell down there.
Yeah, and you guys can hear the undead kind of letting out screeches, and it sounds more like the bones shattering and them all turning into ashes, and within a few seconds they're all destroyed.
As she watches them burn, Keltiel turns to Hunter. Hunter, I have an idea. I would not suggest it if I thought we had any alternative. We do not know the way out, and soon Maltiak will come. There is someone who does know the way out.
All right.
Tibus.
Hunter and nods and so how do you suggest we figure out what he knows?
Keltiel reaches into her pack and she pulls out that ancient scroll that she's been studying from time to time. The one that taught her about magic circles. The one that over the past couple of days something's clicked. And she's understood more about the nature of the spirit world and the separation that the circle provides, and also how to lure spirits over. I could bring him here, I think. And she reaches down to Farthnar, and she gently pulls out that dagger that they had found in Tibus's room. I think with this, we could bring him here and ask him directly. It's a risk. I've never done this before.
Hunter crosses his arms and thinks for a moment and then looks at Keltiel and, if you think you can do it, do it. Because we don't have many other options.
She nods and says, we must be ready in case this doesn't work. Ready to force him back from where he came.
Ben turns around and shoulders her great axe, looking over to Keltiel. If things go bad, we will make sure to destroy him if need be. But I have every confidence in you.
Keltiel smiles a little bit of that, still blinking back tears, and she says, very well, you keep a watch. I must make some preparations. And she starts to draw a circle on the floor with chalk, adds runes to it. She keeps Farthnar within the circle. She touches the Amalite stone on its chakra point and uses it to focus her mind. And I think that in mechanical terms gives her, I think it's a D6 intelligence bonus.
Nice. As you're preparing this stuff too, you're still, suffering not suffering, but still taking the effects of the fire salts. You can see what you swear you think are like mists, images, maybe spirits floating out of the pit too, where you guys would just burned all the undead.
What do they look like? Do they look angry or peaceful?
You think they're peaceful. They don't seem like they're coming after you or trying to harm you or anything. They just kind of dissipate as they float towards the ceiling. But you get a peaceful vibe.
Yeah. With one foot still in that spirit world, she looks to the others and says, I see them leaving the pit. but she just continues making the circle. It takes, what, between 5 to 25 minutes? Do you want me to make a circle magic roll?
Yeah, and I'm going to actually make a, since it takes so long, to see if he's going to show up before you're finished, which is the usual 30% chance.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
so her circle goes really fast.
Oh,
actually.
nice. Nice.
Oof.
So you're able to complete the circle, but you can feel that presence. You have a very strong willpower, and you can feel that presence like on the fringe. As the conjuring goes. What does that look like as it starts to work?
She finishes with the circles. She finishes with the runes, and holding the dagger that Farthnar found in the chamber of Tibus, she begins to intone. Tibus, trickster, thief, finder and keeper of secrets, I summon thee to my aid. I have need of thy counsel, and entreat thee to hear my voice. With a pulse of will and mana, the circle flares with a blue light. Now I have to roll conjuring. Has this one been updated with my new skill level? Probably. I don't think I had it.
It should be. D20, D12, yeah.
Okay, so 16.
And you said Farthnar's laying in the circle.
Yes, with me.
Okay. And your summoning focus is inside the circle as well, with you guys. Okay. Farthnar's eyes open up, and then he starts to look around. But his voice, it sounds similar, but there seems like there's another voice behind it when he says, No, I'm not back here.
Farthnar, it's all right. And she looks around. I don't think it worked.
And his eyes kind of focus on you, and they seem kind of glazed over at the moment. And he squints to recognize you, and then his eyes kind of relax his face, and he says, "You summoned me here. Why would you bring me back to this place?"
And Keltiel's eyes widen with shock. And she kneels down to look Farthnar directly in the face, look at his eyes, and she can see, I would suspect with the astral sight, that that's not just Farthnar there.
Yeah, you can see someone else kind of hovering. It must be Tibus's spirit kind of hovering within his.
Tibus. Yes, I brought you here. I did not mean for it to be like this, but we are trapped. We are trapped by Maltiok, and we found your map, but we cannot find the way out.
He looks around using Farthnar's eyes and taking it all in as quickly as possible, and he says, "He's here. He's coming right now. You must let me go. He could capture us all. He could bring me back here."
I will let you go, but you must tell us. Where do we get out? How do we leave this place?
He thinks for a moment really fast, and he says, The mirror. His wife's mirror. Have you found it?
No,
Marion's mirror. Oh, his daughter.
his daughter. I found her music. His daughter. She's in the well. What will the mirror do?
You must step through the mirror.
His daughter's mirror.
No. You can see his voice is starting to fade. Marion's. That is the way I went out. That is the only way I got out. No one else was able to escape with me.
Where is it? Where is the mirror?
He says, find his daughter.
And with that, Keltiel nods, and with a slashing motion, she breaks the circle.
Farthnar falls asleep again, it seems. And WP, are you here?
Yes, sir.
And then he reawakens. You awaken to find that you're kind of laying on the ground next to Keltiel. Go ahead and tell us what this scene plays out like.
I just logged in. Give me a quick. Am I just waking up from being possessed?
Yeah, kinda.
Pretty much, Keltiel had you in the midst of a circle, a conjuring circle that was in the oubliette chambers. You're pretty much where you were last time, where you crawled out of the pit, and you notice that Vroon and Hunter are kind of standing guard over there, and Keltiel is kneeling down next to you right now.
Farthnar kind of his eyes open, and he kind of looks up and sees Keltia and gives her a weak smile as his body aches and feels different, and kind of looks down to his body and to Hunter and Run and goes, "What happened? I feel weird, weak."
I summoned Tibus, but he was in you. I'm sorry, are you all right?
I've had better days.
Can you
blood
move? I think we know where to go now.
Farthnar kind of brings an arm up and kind of sees how much his body protests and moves his leg a little, and I'll try.
Yeah, you're able to. You're just pretty battered. You've been hit by a by a horse.
He puts up a hand to Keltiel to help him kind of steady himself as he gets up on his feet.
And Keltiel gives him as much support as she can, being probably close to a full foot or more shorter than he is. But she lets him lean on her and looks to Hunter. We know where the well is. That is where, in the journal, it said he put her body.
We could do it even easier. Play the music box and tell her to take us to the mirror.
You have the music box, yes?
I do. He would. Oh.
Oh.
I will not pull out the music box.
You notice Asmund comes hovering in, and he looks towards you all. And he says, "You've all disobeyed me. You've come down into the dungeon, and you know the rules. Farthnar, Tibus, Tibis. We just went over this.
I know, but my schoolmates were coming down to help me and return me to my room. It's not their fault, it's mine.
No, it's not his fault. Where is he? I don't actually see him.
Directly,
Over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then actually, she stands kind of in that doorway, standing in the way of the rest.
And you can see he slams the staff down, big thundering, and he's like, "It matters not. You know the rules. None shall enter the dungeon. You must be punished." And he looks over towards the hunter. Somebody was pulling out the box.
I was getting ready to. I think I would have probably stopped halfway. For some reason, I don't really know.
Yeah. And he's like, you can tell he's like about to say something else, and his staff is glowing, like, and he's like, "I've had enough of this." And he looks towards. You can see some of the objects in the room are starting to move away from him a little bit, and then his face lightens up when he sees, like, the corner of the box coming out. The pouch. What is that?
Hunter looks to the rest and he finishes pulling the box out.
What is this? Where did you find this?
And saying nothing, he's going to go ahead and open the box up and let it play its tune.
And the music starts playing, and you can see it, like, it might as well, like, be tearing him apart, And he even drops his staff and starts to shake and puts his hand out to take the box from you. His hand's all, like, mangled and shriveled, tattered clothes hanging from it.
Vian looks back to the rest. Go.
Keltiel, seeing his distraction, starts to try to edge by him. Looks at Hunter and, like, put it down or something.
And Hunter, as they're kind of moving away, he's going to stand square with Asmund. Probably not on top of Arun, but he'd stand square with Asmund, and he would have the box out, but he would be keeping it back from Asmund's grip. And he looks to the old, disgusting, fiendish beast. You want this back?
He seems to not leave it with his eyes, mouth agape. I know this. Yes, I want it. And he's not looking at you guys sneaking out at all either. He's, like, not even caring.
Let us out. Take us to the keep. Show us the way. And it's yours. Or else I destroy it.
He looks at you and kind of, for the first time, turns his head. Who are you? You are not Begar.
I'm the hunter. And I've got a hunt to get on with. And so do the rest. I'm done playing your game, Asmund. Show us the way out, or you'll never hear this song again.
You can see he starts to like twitch, and it seems like he's just having some kind of freak out, convulsions. Some of the room starts to tremble a little bit, and some of the items in there start to fall off the shelves.
Viren looks to Hunter. We need to go now.
Then start moving.
You're coming.
Go.
She's going to put a hand on Hunter's arm and grab it. Not without you.
We need you, Hunter. Just throw the box in the pit and let's go.
He's gonna keep it and start running. I mean, not gonna throw it.
Once Hunter starts running, Keltiel is definitely running.
Farthnar will do his best to keep up.
Well, she'll stay with Farthnar for sure, but so I guess they're more hobbling.
Viren's gonna make sure Hunter's in front and make sure if he tries to lag behind to basically grab him and shove him forwards.
You notice his trembling and freaking out is all of a sudden like stopped by a jolt of energy. You notice Asmund falls to the ground and another being rises up out of him, bald, twisted looking, black demonic thing, in the shape of a man, in the shape of a wizard. And Asmund seems to like have fallen to the ground, maybe unconscious for a minute or bewildered. And you notice the Maltiok, this must be Maltiok, stumbling and kind of holding his head. He falls to the ground onto his knees for a minute, and it looks like he's trying to gather himself or trying to realize all of this, like it's all coming to him at this time. Do you guys want to just take off?
His spirit,
Yeah.
his spirit is separated from his body.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Well,
do it.
Keltiel widens her eyes, and she tries something else she's never done before.
Oh,
She points at Maltiak and says, Maltiak, I banish you from this plane.
Nice.
Wait, before you roll, Farthnar pats you on the butt.
Okay. Okay, do I get another +6 because of that?
From the pat on the butt.
Yeah.
If this don't work, I'd like to
Just run.
roll to run as fast as possible if I need to.
Yeah, go for the banishment. Banishment's like 4 magic
And
actions.
you know his name. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god.
He does have some scary powers though, but there's that's a good roll. 32. He has an anti-expulsion.
Oh no.
Here it goes. Yeah, you can see he starts to like tear apart. What does that look like as you send him back?
She points to him, and honestly, her voice is shaking a little when she does it. But she feels just the force of her will hit him, and she sees with her astral vision the stuff that makes up his spirit to start to unravel, and these tethers that one of them is, it seems to be almost anchoring him to the floor, but it goes beyond the floor, starts to burn from the bottom up. And once it hits his spirit, he just shatters into 1,000 pieces, or more than that, just a bunch of sparks fly out, and with maybe a last shout of defiance, he's just gone.
Yeah, you can see all the light dissipating from his body. And even with your, still the effects of that fire salt, it's even crazier for you. All of the visuals, as you can see him shatter apart. Then you notice Asmund is the only one there, and he starts to wake up. Still, he is the rotten blood mage that he was before, but he is no longer possessed by the 200-year-old evil spirit of Maltiok. And he turns with his undead eyes to look over to Vroon, and his face contorts a little bit, and he says your name. Vroon, what are you doing here, child?
Asmund, what happened to you?
He looks at his body, and the Dark Ones came. They killed everyone. Oh, the Jarl, I have failed him.
Well, we can still help him. Or at least help my brother. There's still time.
The demon. Without Maltiok, will the demon still be summoned?
And he looks towards you, and he says, Kiltiel. And you're kind of surprised that he even knows your name.
Right. She does seem a little surprised. I did not know you knew who I was. Yes, I'm here. And there is a demon coming. I think do you remember anything?
Yes, Asmediel. He is already here. He is in your growl. Your father, Vroon. I am sorry. I failed him.
Bjorn's grip on her exhale tightens as she looks to Asmund. Her brows furrow. Her gaze is more steely than before, and she stares straight at Asmund. Then we need to do something about it. We need to defeat this Asmediol. Whether it's casting him out of my father's body or destroying the both of them. But this cannot stand.
Keltiel approaches Viren, puts a hand on her shoulder. If we can find my sister, she knows exorcism. She could perhaps free your father from the demon.
Bjorn looks back to Keltiel and puts one of her hands on top of Keltiel's. If it is possible, yes. But if not, I will not endanger anyone else. Not in this town.
Asmund whispers a spell and then immediately starts to levitate. You can see his mangled feet are useless to him now. His eyes glowing. He's levitating there brings the staff to his hand. Says, I'm sorry. I fear Yorgrel. There should be no coming back for him, just as my body is dead. I believe his is as well. But there are many that can still be saved.
Yes, we just need to leave. Do you know the way out? We heard something about a mirror.
He says the mirror has long been shattered. Take this. And he takes a scroll from his pouch. Go to the child's room. The symbol, the constellation on the wall of the dragon. Cast the spell. It will take you into the sewers. This is a wall portal spell. This will help you. I cannot come with you, I fear.
Why not?
The necromancers, they will control me, and I will be used as their weapon.
And Keltiel nods. He's right. He would be more of a danger than a help. I'm afraid.
I must destroy myself and this place with me.
Bjorn looks sadly to Asmund and nods. I understand. It pains me deeply to see you like this, Asmund, but I hope Beogard guides you into the afterlife.
He nods and he smiles to you all and says, you have saved my soul. I thank you. Now go and stop the witches and stop the necromancers. Destroy the book.
Where is the book? Who has it?
A foul necromancer. He looks towards the hunter as he says this, and he says, he holds the book.
Of course he does. Hunter turns heel and starts to head back off towards the constellation room, knowing that it is getting ever closer now.
He nods. He says, the Ars Umbris Grimorium Verum. It is the true book of summoning from the Shadow Realm. It must be destroyed.
We will make sure to destroy it. Goodbye, Asmund.
Farewell, Vrun. And he nods his head to you and waves to the others.
Keltiel starts walking away.
You can hear as you guys are heading down you can hear his chanting growing louder, and the place shakes a little bit, and it sounds like Keltiel, you would know what he's doing. I think you might have the ability to hold the spell. It sounds like
not yet, but I know what it is. Probably.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like he's like repeating a spell and like powering it up and holding it, and then grabbing another one and waving it to make this like some huge terrible spell. So yeah.
Yeah. We need to leave. He is going to bring the whole place down.
Let's get moving. Fatna, do you need me to carry you?
Farthnar kind of grunts, his pride wounded. No, I'll be okay, thank you.
Alright, if you're slow, I will.
Farthnar makes a concerted effort not to be carried by the large woman.
And if you guys can make the dex check to jump over the pit successfully, the bothersome pit. If you guys make that successfully, you won't have to roll and worry about the destruction that Asmund
Wow.
is going to bring forth. Oh, nice. Hunter's like a ninja over that thing. Rune makes it. Teeter-totter.
Oh my gosh, I so
Good.
saw that.
Woo, boy, here
There's
we
the
go.
ones!
And
I have a
Kelkel is
question.
the last one.
I have a question. I have an ability that I've never had and an opportunity to use. Can you use the elemental stand to push herself back from the edge if she's just tumbled?
You know what? Farthnar was the one last before you. I would say Farthnar can try to grab you first, and if that fails, then you can try a high willpower check to see if that would save you.
Okay, that sounds fair.
Let's see if there's any skills I can blow in an attempt to grab her.
You're pretty good at grabbing me. You've had plenty of practice.
Had
Ass
to be.
grabs.
Good wrestling practice. Varsity level wrestling.
It's all that
What roll
fitness
do I
and
need to
stretching.
make?
Dex,
And
I
then-
think.
Yeah,
What do-
Farthnar.
What do I need
Dex
to
check.
test? Yep, okay.
Dex.
Just Dex. Target number is 6.
Come on, you know where the good handholds are.
He
On the hand, of course.
out of combat, he attempts to grab her like a bowling ball before she falls.
Jesus.
Nice.
Despite being injured, he sees Keltia, someone he's grown quite fond of recently, slip and begin to kind of perilously teeter over the edge. And he quickly grabs out and putting an arm around her waist and the other firmly squeezing her right cheek as he brings her back. And careful now. We need you.
She blushes with embarrassment, but looks up at him gratefully. Thank you. That would have been not the most heroic way to die.
Indeed.
Viren looks back at the two. No time for kissing. We need to go.
Yes, yes.
And you guys hear you hear the spell go off, and it just sounds like a huge explosion rips through the place. The place shudders, and parts of the ceiling start to fall. You guys get into the child's room. I'm gonna move you guys back over there.
Yeah, just teleport us.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. And I think I'm missing Farthnar now. Let me grab Farthnar real quick. There he is. He's in the dark.
I'm in the
Grab him
nether.
around the waist.
He's in the lava.
Varun actually picked you up.
Yep.
I'm in the
Had no
pocket.
choice.
And you see the planets and stuff as you touch uh, the pedestal in the center of the chamber. The place is shaking a little bit, still suffering from the effects of the explosion. And you do notice on this far wall over here, if you can see that blip, the dragon constellation.
Keltiel pulls out the scroll, looks it over, looks at the others. He said right there at the dragon constellation, right? Don't want to put this in the wrong place.
I think there, yes.
With that, she starts to intone the words of the spell. So what do you want me to roll for that?
Using the incantation, you don't have to worry about it. You notice the walls ripple, and you can see it looks like basically you can just pass right through it, almost as if the wall was water. You can see immediately after you cast the spell, too, from the scroll, that it seems like the edges of this portal are starting to, go away. So there's very little time, actually, duration.
Now! Go, go, go!
And as everybody jumps through, we're going to go over to TD. You ready? Jump
Yeah.
over to the scene. Sorry, you've been sitting there for a little while. Let's see here. Move over to this scene here. Can everybody see that? Tried to
Yes.
open it up so everybody could see Grumble and Dritch there.
See it.
In the meantime, not too far away, in the town of Skore, Grumble and Dritch are moving silently down the streets. Dritch, an Atacralian, a human, and Grumbled, the dwarf. Go ahead and describe this scene here as you guys are walking. TD.
So they are just making their way down from where were we from?
From the forest, where you guys had parked the wagon, and you had saved some people already, that I had wrote about in the story. I can elaborate a little bit more in case you don't remember. There were some survivors after you guys had dropped off an old seer named Tathar Fargazer. He had paid you a hefty sum of gold talents to go back on your trail, a town that you had already left a few weeks back, to go back to Skore and take him with you, because he had foreseen dark troubles and the town being destroyed, and he was going to go and save them and help them. You didn't learn until later, until you actually got there, that he said that he was going to go meet the angels now. So you might have thought he was a little out there, but indeed he was right about the village. Skore was totally destroyed, and you guys have already saved a few people, a family, and hid them in the woods in a cave. And you're going back into town because of the seer telling you to find specific people out there, which are the players now. So he told you that it was near the church and it would be underground. And you're walking pretty much directly where he told you to go. that there would be a well out here, and you could find the stairs in the crafts district. The fact is, though, that Dritch, you know it's going to be wrought with danger, and you really don't want Dritch to come with you. You kind of care about this human pretty much as if he was like your son. So ever since you saved him a long time ago. So he's walking next to you right now with his short sword in his hand, and you have a dwarven axe and a shield.
So as they're making their way back, Gromwald he doesn't say much. He just keeps looking over to Dritch and kind of giving him not necessarily a sideways glance, but he continues to look at him, and then he'll kind of and shake his head a little bit, and they just kind of continue on.
Well, what is bothering you, Grum?
Lad, I don't want you to come with us.
I don't want you to go in here alone.
Look at me. I'm old. Older than one. I don't need to put you in trouble. I don't need to put you in any danger. There's just no reason for it.
Grumbled, I can't let you go alone into this place. I know these people. You'll find them. I'm sure you'll save many people. I just want to get out of here. Let's go back to Hammerfall.
Lad. As much as I'd like to see you out of harm's way, I just don't know. I don't want you to leave, but I don't want you to come with me.
You can see he kind of stands up straight and sighs, and he's saying you want me to leave you out here and just turn back around.
Might be for the best, lad.
You want me to go babysit that family?
Wouldn't call it babysitting, but they're gonna need looking after. You're a strong lad. I like to think I've done right raising you.
He looks off into the distance for a minute, and he says, you have. You've taught me a lot. Don't go talking about... Don't go talking like that. Like this is your last journey. I'm not gonna let you go down.
Well, whether you like it or not, it might be. I can't predict the future. If you can't.
Are you coming out here to die?
Lad, you're coming awful wally up. There's nothing I can do to know what's beyond just the next turn even. But if death is what awaits me, then I agree it.
He comes over and pats you on the shoulder, and you can see, like, he's got a little tear welling up in his eye and stuff, and he's like, all right, I'll meet you back at camp, okay?
Count on it.
He starts to walk away, and he's like, he doesn't look at you, but he says, thanks for everything, Grum.
Grumble will just snort and then pulls off a cloak, just calls out after Dritch. Here, laddie, take this, you'll be needing it.
Takes the cloak and looks at it for a moment and looks at you and he's like, so the wagon's mine then if you don't come back, right?
Yup, I'd say that's a safe bet. Wagon's yours.
All right. Stone Father protect you.
May he protect you.
You can see him. He smiles and kind of disappears around the corner. And you can see the entrance, the stairwell that goes down near the well. The stairwell kind of hugs an old 2-story building. And you end up moving down into the passageway, into the dark. It takes you a few moments for your eyes to adjust, but you, with your dwarven eyes, can see pretty far in the dark.
I singular.
Yeah, and you can see already as you get to the bottom of the stairs, there's bones in here, and the stench is kind of overwhelming. The stench of rotten flesh. You've smelt it before. And we're going to go back over here to those who are just entering into this chamber. You guys come into this chamber. It's totally pitch black as you pass through the wall. You notice that there was a small passage that must have been carved from inside the sewers. There were scratch marks and pickaxe marks all through here, almost, and it's pretty recent. It seems like it must have, like somebody was trying to break into that area. Perhaps the underground school area. You notice as well that there are crystals, large crystals that are clinging to the wall, emitting kind of a purplish light. It's not really enough to light up this whole chamber, but it does create a slight glow.
Keltiel reaches into her pack and she pulls out another stone and puts it on a chakra point. And I'm assuming it will emit a glow. It's the sunstone. It adds to your navigation ability, but I'm assuming it also glows.
Yeah, it does. You can use the torch. Grumbled, you're able to find. You can hear the movement and see them down in the passageway. You're able to find them pretty quickly. As you pass over this old rickety wooden bridge, you're able to locate those people. According to the description, the flame-haired female that Tathar had told you about, she's certainly there, and one of the men wearing a mask.
Right, and Grumble sees this and recognizes what's actually happening in front of his eyes. Just the fact that something so perfectly described could have been foretold. His mouth begins to fall agape a little bit as he just stares on at them.
Does Keltiel sense his presence?
Yeah, I would say you sense someone moving, like not a hostility or anything, but I don't even know if it would tell you if it's hostile or not, but you do sense something coming your way.
Shh, she says, turning to the others and then looking at her sunstone, realizing that hiding was out of the question. Someone's coming.
Viren takes out her axe and holds it aloft, kind of ready to engage if need be.
And as Gromwald makes his way over, he actually, with his hand clutching his shield and axe, he just raises his hands up as to indicate that he's not a threat.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
My name's Grumbled Stormbar. I came looking for you.
And why are you looking for us?
And why are you looking for us? She looks around at the sewer. Here.
And Grumbled actually just kind of chuckle a little bit. You'd ne'er believe it, but 'twas foretold to me by a wizard.
I don't know any wizards.
Aye. Well, 'twas all the same, and now I'm here, and so are you.
What's this wizard's name?
Tathar. Tathar was the man. Was a very strange fellow, and
Why did he send you?
well, it was supposed to be one of those things, one of the great tales, stories that will be forever written. The fate of the world, perhaps.
Do you know the way out?
Aye, 'twas back the way I came.
And Keltiel reaches into her pocket and she just kind of squeezes that symbol of Ghana that she had in there. So we will see the sky again. Have you seen anyone who looks like me?
Can't say that I have, lass.
Well, why don't we walk and talk on the way? I'm very antsy to get outside.
Farthnar, can you roll
Roll what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
an intelligence check? This guy seems somewhat familiar. You believe you've seen him before. Grumble, you meet so many humans, and many of them look the same. But you might have seen Farthnar as well. Can you roll an intelligence check? You can click on the attribute checks up at the top, and then just click intelligence. And just hit enter when the mods pop up. Yeah, he might look a little bit familiar, but Farthnar, you're pretty sure that this guy's a traitor or something.
trader to
He-
who specifically?
Like he rides around to the towns and sells goods. To all the jarls, you know. You've seen him on the road.
Farthnar kind of limps up beside Grumbald and looks down at him and goes, You look familiar. Are you, do you, trade in this area? I am Farthnar, and he kind of holds a hand out and gives him a look over and sees he's missing an eye and tries to see if that rings any bells or can put the face more to what he believes he thinks he is.
Grumbled will extend a hand out, eyeing Farthnar. I am one of the traders. I go town to town, selling goods, moving goods for the yard.
Aaron walks back. Well, if you're a trader and you move goods, maybe we should move outside. You can tell Viren's getting very antsy being down here, just standing.
Grumbled nods and in agreement. I don't want to linger in this place. It smells of death everywhere.
That smell's not going to go away. Hunter keeps his bow out, but relaxes a bit and looks around. Let's get out. We have to get to the keep.
Farthnar kind of walks towards the bridge and sees how poor the condition is and how rickety it is, and kind of holds a hand out to Keltia and kind of maybe laughs a little, and he's like, would you like my help?
And Keltiel takes a look at it, and she says, maybe. I don't want to fall in that.
You can see the old bridge is made of wood. It's pretty strong wood, but it's been down here for a while and gotten water damage enough to weaken it a bit. And there are some missing planks, so just no botches.
Yeah, you say that like it's so easy.
Mm-hmm.
Let us make no guarantees.
And once you get to the other side, please make a perception check. Nice. Oh, nice perception. Farthnar, you notice the sound of movement up ahead, and it sounds like the twitching and like a slithering sound.
Farthnar kind of draws an arrow, notches one on his bow, and kind of freezes and looks forward and nods his head to the group members that something is in there and making a disturbing noise as it approaches the.
And Keltia, you can sense a presence soon after he says that.
Does it sound like just one presence? I mean, feel like a one presence or more than one presence?
It feels more of like a wave.
Things. I feel a wave coming.
Get ready.
Take cover and
Viren.
prepare.
Keltiel starts pulling out a potion.
Hunter's going to try to duck on this low wall and try to stay hidden.
Viren's going to stand up front.
You notice one of them runs out, if you can see this at all, grabs onto one of the pillars. You can hear a splash of the water. Whatever it is, it's not trying to be quiet at all. And it looks like it was once a man. It stops and it opens up its mouth, and all of these small little tongues come wiggling out really quickly, like of all of you towards Vroon.
I missed part of that. I heard the lots of stuff coming out of his mouth, and then nothing, then towards Ver.
Yeah, it seems like the things coming out of its mouth are wiggling around, and it seems like it's using it as a type of sensory.
Oh, got it.
And then it moves and it looks towards Varun and grumbled like it's picked up your scent. So I would say roll initiative for everybody. Make sure it's clear here. First will be Farth now, huh?
Alrighty. He's gonna draw his bow and...
Is this too loud?
Nope.
He's gonna do 2 power shots on this thing, lining up, drawing his bow back, and sending 2 arrows towards the hideously disfigured man. And is it modifier +2 for power shot?
Yeah, if you're going to do a 2-action Deadeye shot,
Yep.
so you'll be aiming for 1 action. That gives you the +2. And it just kind of turns, looks towards you, and you pretty much unleash it at that moment. You want to go for another one?
Yeah. Give me a sec here.
Hey, it worked.
That's a hit. So when the power damage comes up, you'll hit a 2 in there. Unless they're silver arrows.
I need to see if the plus D6 is factored in for
Okay, yeah, let me check that real quick.
improved weapon.
Your improved weapon. Damage. It would be under there. So your longbow. Yep, you got it in there.
Okay.
So not in the modifier, but when the power damage comes up, you'll just put a 2 in there and hit enter. Nice. It drops it to the ground, doesn't kill it. What's that look like?
The first shot goes wide, but it was not ready for the second shot to come so quickly, hitting it just underneath the neck and the collarbone, sending it spinning off and into the ground, crashing into the ground, flailing its weird appendages out of its mouth as it's badly injured.
Is that good for you?
Yep.
All right, Hunter.
Hunter's gonna pop out from the wall and fire a power shot
You were hiding, right?
I was.
Do you want to try to get that sneak attack off?
Yes, I very would like to go for the
Okay.
sneak attack.
Sneak attack, yeah. All right, so go ahead and make a concealment check. We'll just see if he noticed you at all. Your target number will be, of course, he maxed it.
13? Okay.
Yep.
I do have that on my sheet, and I rolled like shit.
Okay, so he notices you pop out. No sneak attack, so he'll get to defend. That's all.
All right. So I'll do the Deadeye shot.
Nice. And it's on the ground, suffering negative modifier. It's a miss still, though. Another Deadeye?
Yeah, I'll burn the frenzy and do it. Running out of arrows.
Alright, is that it for you?
That is it for me.
Grumbled. It's time to show what you got. They might have followed you down here.
Yeah. Grumbled, seeing arrows and bolts fly past him, he sort of takes a second to gather himself and then just sprints off after this thing. And I can move 4.
You can actually run 8. So you can make it to him if you run, I think.
Yeah, he's within 4 hexes, so that's 8. Or is that just?
No, you're good. Yeah. I don't think it's actually going to matter for you at all since you're a melee.
Right. So he sprints up and attempts to hit with his axe.
Now you can do a rage attack, you can do single attacks, or you can do a combo attack, which means you have 3 actions. You could do a combo for 3 if you want to. And you're able to burn up to 2 frenzy each round if you want to. So you could have inevitably do a combo attack for 3 and then 1 rage attack if you really wanted to burn those frenzy to do it.
Right. I think he's just gonna do a combo attack so he could maybe hit with the axe, then shield or shield axe.
Okay. So you want to combo him for 3?
Yeah, gonna do shield that. Lead with, well, I guess gonna lead with an axe, shield dash.
Oh, yeah. You notice it's just trying to move out of the way of the arrows, and then you come flying up, hit him with a 3-hit combo. So when you go to the damage, you'll want to skip modifier, and when it comes to power damage, put a 3 in there for your 3-hit combo, and then hit enter. And you kill him. What's that look like?
So the arrows having flown past Grummold, and this creature sort of attempting to move out of the way of them, being struck by a couple, Grummold sees his opportunity and rushes in with his shield and axe borne at his side, and he swings with an axe wildly and then sort of pushes it back with his shield, and then swings again across the neck of the creature here with his axe again, and severs the head from the body. As the head flies through the air, the odd appendages are sort of still kind of tickling the air as if to sense what's happening, and the body crumples to the floor, and the head just sort of spins off and rolls away into the water.
Nice. And when you get over to that point, I believe you can see the others, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I see
In the
the
darkness, you can at least see their eyes, and they're moving around. It is now their turn.
Can I call back as a free action?
Oh, yeah.
So Grumald, having decapitated this, takes a moment and looks forward, and then calls back to the others. There's loads more.
You guys can hear them skittering and running through the muck and mire, and none of them actually make it to the dwarf, but they seem to be like all charging at him. I think you might have fought these before. And Grumble, that's when you notice one more very large enemy wearing armor in the back. It looks almost like an undead knight or something. He's huge, probably the size of an ogre, wearing metal armor and walking with a big blade in his hand down the steps, kind of slowly. So they get no attacks yet, and it is Keltiel's turn.
Do these things look undead or just like weird and mutated?
They do look undead, but they are some kind of mutation.
Okay, well, I'm going to try this anyway. I'm going to try to throw a potion of confusion. Right? Would it be able to get all three of those if I got it in the right place?
Let's see. You could try for it. Let's see here. It's 2 hexes. That might be too far. One.
No. Maybe
You
just
might be able to
between the
get
Sundered...
these two, or
What
these
about
two?
the Sundered Girl and the Hag, if I got it right between them?
Sundered Girl and the Hag. Those two?
Yep.
Yeah, you could probably get those two.
Okay.
You might have to move up to throw it that far, though.
Probably not, but yeah, I will. I mean, she's got 2.
Oh, because you're an alchemist, you get to change it to intelligence, too.
Yeah. What's my target number from where she is right there?
Eight. You have to at least hit an 8 or higher.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna stay safely in the back.
And then, I mean, they still get a chance to dodge, but...
That's the target number, right?
Yeah,
But
at
it's a
least-
fun.
Is it a fumble?
It is a fumble, though. Yeah.
Oh, no!
Can I use my thing?
Mm-hmm, astral.
But it's thrown though.
It doesn't
It's
matter.
her magic.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We decided this ahead of time that it's that the same things apply to the alchemy.
We prepared for
I'll-
this situation.
I'll go ahead and say this out loud. Farthnar, as he doesn't have an arrow in his bow, slightly reaches over and
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, it's her magic potions. If it was a knife or something,
Yeah, that makes sense.
There we go.
Jesus.
Thanks, Farth.
Nice. That's much better. God. Natural one is bound to happen. What is it? You hate to see it.
It's a potion of confusion. So they have to roll some sort of a save or dodge, I guess.
All right, nice. It explodes. Go ahead and tell us what that looks like there.
She tosses a potion, and at first it slips from her fingers, but she catches it in the other hand and throws it, and it hits exactly where she wants it to hit. And as the glass vial hits the stone floor, just this nasty looking green vapor rises from it, and the sundered girl and the hag start breathing it in, and I guess they have to make some sort of a wisdom save. I think it's T25 actually. Or they start attacking the person nearest them.
Wow. Target 25. I think it is safe to say they are going to fail that. Yeah, they start hacking. Right, and then what do you want to do?
Gosh, every time I fumble, I don't want to do anything.
You can't have fear. It's gonna come anyway. You might as well get the
Gotta do
20s
it.
out before it comes next.
And that was 2 magic.
Yeah, I'm going to use 2 more. And well, I have 3 magic actions, but I can use another frenzy. Can I use 2 more frenzy?
Only 2 per. So if you have 1 more magic actions, you can burn 1 frenzy to get another potion.
Got it. Well, I'm not going to do a potion. I'll just go ahead and do the ignite, but I'll double it times 2, and I'll just go off to the frog. Or is that a fog or a frog?
Oh, it's his frog.
It's fog. I was just fucking with you guys earlier.
Sundered frog. Oh, I think Hunter's fought these before. Have you guys fought them?
Not that I might have, but I'm assuming I'd have to roll creature lore there.
Yeah, that's right. I think you guys saw them at the house when they were,
Yeah.
Keltiel might have hit one with a magic item. Let's see. Her ignite spell. Here we go. Nice.
Sweet.
That's a hit. So this is going to be, it was done twice, so...
It would normally be times 2 unless they're particularly vulnerable to fire.
So you're going to do times 4 then. Power damage be times 4. Alright, and that one catches on fire and starts to burn, doesn't kill it, but... screeches out in pain. And
that's it.
Vroon's turn.
Alright, so she's going to run kind of around the corner between the sundered skull and the fog.
As she runs off, fearing she does not understand how that potion works, she says, "Save the girls for last."
Yeah. And she runs, kind of heaving her great axe. She's, let's see. I'm gonna do the 3-hit combo on the skull, and then use an extra action to do hack on the fog.
Okay. You want to do 3-hit on the skull and then hack those 2 with a rage attack? Both of them?
Yes.
Nice.
Alright, so do the 3-hit.
Murderer.
I don't think I have any bonuses. Oh wait, I might actually. Because I did use War Paint earlier. Oh, that's just a strength.
It's a murderer.
Yep.
Oh. Alright, so the sundered skull. You can see the skull kind of shifting and changing as you run at it, and then, yes, you hit it.
Yeah, so she charges the thing and slashes it 3 times, and I think only improved weapons has been incorporated, but not Zweihander, right?
Improved weapon definitely has. Let me check Zweihander.
It's an extra d6.
I should have put it in here. I should have put it in there. Let's see. Let's see if I was paying attention here. Let's see if I get an F. Two-handed battle axe. It says here you have a 3d12, 2d6. Yes.
Oh, perfect. And then modifier, get an extra 2 because of the war paint.
Cool.
And then
power is the 3.
Oh my god.
Oh, nice. That is killed.
And as she slashes this thing, first slash takes off its left arm, second its right, and then finally she just cuts its torso in half, and using the momentum she'll try and cut into the fog as well.
The Sundered are suddenly like, why did we come down here? Barely defends.
Oh, darn.
Cathard.
Yeah, so she kind of swings down, but she swings a little bit too far up, and it just passes over the fog's head. But she's got this bloodlust on her face now, as some of the blackened blood has covered her face and hair. And she's this wild look on her face now.
Farthnar's turn.
Alrighty. Which ones are confused? The girl, the hag, and the fog?
Yeah, you can see that mist is still lingering over here with those two in it, hacking.
Alrighty, I'm gonna take a shot at just the Sundered with the same as last time, 2 power shots.
Okay. 1 deadeye shot. No, that's just 1 arrow you're using when you're doing the deadeye. Okay.
1 arrow or 2 arrows for this round total. I'm not doing the Legolas.
Yeah. I wish I could have set up the thing that actually takes your ammo away, but I have not mastered that yet.
Oh, baby.
Oh! That is a critical hit with a deadeye, so that's going to be a power of 4.
Alrighty.
Oh, nice. That's a kill.
So on he draws it back, kind of glances over to Keltia and releases the arrow, worrying that this Sundered has a clear path to charging himself and Keltia, and to a lesser extent Hunter, and puts the arrow right square between its eyes, and its head snaps back and collapses to the ground, dead instantly.
Nice. And you can attack another if you wish.
I'm going to let them continue beating on each other. And
Okay.
I don't know how many arrows I have left, so I'm going to probably save those for the flesh.
Cool. And Hunter.
So I don't know how well my eyes are, but I can vaguely see the flesh guard from my perspective. Um,
Nice,
but
then you
I
can see it.
okay. So I encountered. I mean, this is similar to what we encountered when we were still with Wrath. Is it? Is it
Yes.
similar or?
Yeah, you definitely fought one of those before. It wasn't a pleasant encounter.
Yeah, so he's not sure if anyone else can see it, and he points out to the back, just in the very dim light, as this huge figure's moving back there. Flesh guard, be ready. They're tough, and he moves up. I almost said that actually, Matt. Yes, he moves up, and we'll try to get a decent shot into the dark with a dead eye.
This thing doesn't have a shield, does it? No, it doesn't. Just got a big sword, big two-hander. That's a hit. A little bit of damage in there. Yeah, you can see his armor take some of it.
Yeah, I'll spend a frenzy and then do another one.
That one's a miss there.
That's it for me. I guess I could do a creature lore on it to see if I recall anything particular about these that could be useful in the situation. If I've fought them other than before, how I've beaten them before, if they're any different from any other undead for what they're weak against.
Yeah, go for that. And then it'll be Grumbled's turn. You don't remember anything other than the silver. The silver, if anybody's got that, would do double to him. Grumbled, your turn.
Alright, and what was this stuff again?
It's some kind of cloud. The alchemist threw a potion, and it's... she warned Vroon, you heard her shout something about leave the girls or something like that. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, I said leave the girls for last.
Wasn't interested in going in there. I just wanted to make sure I had to keep Birth with it. So Grumble will just move up and I guess hit this frog. I'm gonna combo.
3-hit combo. And this one is now outnumbered, so suffering -1, and it's a hit. That is a kill. And what's that look like, Grumbled, as you come in and kill this one?
So Grumble, having just decapitated the one and seeing everything kind of drop around him, begins to run toward this cloud here, and then realizes that there's an actual cloud there and peels off at the last second and just hacks at this frog. And then looks over, and Viren's kind of looking unimpressed at him afterwards. He just grins.
And sure enough, you do notice these two.
Those two what?
The two sundered that are in that fog seems to be attacking just each other, kind of ripping each other to shreds there. You notice the flesh guard starts to make its way towards you all. 4, 5.
Oh boy.
Does it have to stand right on you? I guess it does. The flesh guard gets up to both of you guys and is going to do a rage attack across both of you with a hack. It's two-handed sword.
Ooh.
So both Vroon and Grumbled are going to have to try to dodge this attack here. From an executioner sword.
Oh, I'm finally getting hit.
Yay, you got it.
Hey!
My dream.
Everybody clap your hands.
Both of you guys got hit.
Oh no.
This is gonna be horrible. Or is it?
Enjoy this 90 damage.
No modifiers, power damage of 2. 42 damage. So you will take your armor soaks damage, your total armor, which is found in the middle of your sheet at the top. Grumbled, I put it in your blue for you. So you have 14 armor. So 14 is subtracted by the 42, and the remaining of that goes off of your hit points, which you have 143 hit points max.
Oh baby.
What did that bring you down to? 136?
I went to 136, but then I gained 40.
Because you freak out, right? You blood
Yep.
rage or something. So you're both knocked to the ground.
Oh boy.
So he brings the blade across and slices into both of you, knocking you both to the ground. And what's Vroon do?
So let me just minus this up. So as Voon's knocked to the ground and there's just this big gash in her chest, you see her face just contort into pure rage, and she's just taken by this blood frenzy, and kind of her pupils just dilate and purely fixated on this flesh guard. And it's her turn. Oh, good.
And he does get one more rage attack.
Okay.
I rolled a 6, which is that Grumbled.
I'm gonna use actually. I'm gonna use Fury. I think Enrage. So I am going to taunt it, and I think they have to make a willpower, or else they have to hit me instead.
Okay.
Let's see. So I'm pulling aggro. So I use my body attribute check.
Okay, cool.
With
Go
a
ahead and make a
+1.
body. And I have to make a willpower. Oh, he fails. So he is coming at you. He was about to... He, brings the blade up, about to come down on Grumbled, and you,
She just roars at him. And basically just says, "Come and get me!"
So he comes down at you. Just soundlessly, showing no emotion behind his mask, and brings the blade down with a rage attack.
What's the negative for defense for being knocked down?
-1. -1.
Being prone is only -1.
Mm-hmm.
And she rolls out of the way.
Nice. And that is it for him. It is Keltiel's turn.
Keltiel pulls a swirling orange potion out of her belt and looks to Farthnar. I have to move up. And she moves over here by Hunter. I don't want to miss.
Oh my gosh.
And she is aiming back here. It's the Nova potion.
I think that has a 2.5 blast radius.
If she's not going to try to hit Grumbold and Varun, how about that? Where does she have to hit to not hit them?
That one,
way like over here.
Yeah, let's see. That would be. It's a pretty big blast, so 2.5.
Give her the pat on the way out, Farth.
Go get her, Tiger.
Yeah, if you're
Run
thinking
the block.
about if you throw it in the middle, probably.
All right, so way out there. So let me take a look at that measurement.
6.
6. All right.
That's a horrible potion.
Well, it does a lot of damage against undead, right?
Yeah, to anything actually.
Well,
It'll
yeah,
mess up.
it's holy damage though, or something.
Yeah, that's a bad, not a nasty one.
So yeah, there you go.
Nice. And he is hit.
All right, that says 2d6 times 10 divine.
All right. So I think, is it in there for you? Is it in your damages?
Let me look.
I think it might be.
No, because we just figured it out. Now it's not in there. So I can just. So just roll 2d6 and then multiply it by 10, or is it extra because of divine?
No, that's right. It'll be /r space 2d6 exclamation points. Yeah, that works too.
So that's 80.
80 damage.
Yeah.
All right, that is enough to.
Might kill the one.
Destroy. Yeah, it definitely destroys one of those sundered. And knocks the flesh guard to his knees. All right. And what else would you like to do?
I think she will use her remaining 2 actions to do another ignite on it. Not great, but
That is a hit.
nice. Just times 2, right? They aren't particularly vulnerable to fire.
Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, times 4 because you did it twice, right? You rapid cast it. Okay,
Yeah.
so it'll be 44. Nice. All right, so he does catch on fire, and whose turn is it? It's Rune's.
Yeah, so getting up is an action, right?
It's half your movement, so no actions.
Okay. So yeah, she rolls back up onto her feet and just goes after this the golem. I'm just going to do. No, I'll do a 3 attack. Oh yes.
Nice.
Wow.
God,
Yes.
he is sucking on the defenses. He's on fire, he's getting up, and you're just like, black, black, black. Okay, so that was 3 hits
Yup, so 3.
and a critical.
Yeah.
So that's going to be 6.
Sweet. Pray for me.
That's a lot of damage, Jack.
Nice. Oh, God. He is just about dead. He falls back on his back. What's that look like?
Yeah, so Veron, you just see just the way she's holding the axe now. It's she's not doing it to be efficient in terms of her swings, but in terms of doing damage, just kind of going over, like stabbing down and down and down into this thing, and just hacking it to pieces, taking off bits of flesh, bits of armor as she goes. And she's just no concern for anyone at all as she hacks away at this thing. And I'm going to spend another frenzy to do a quick attack.
Just a quick attack you're doing?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, that's actually minus. Oh! Doesn't matter, though. Looks like he parries it from the ground and swats at you with his blade.
Bastard.
Oh, you dodged that, though.
You
want to burn that last?
No, I already did. That was all of it.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, she tries to stab down again and kind of uses his armored hand to push away the blade, stabbing up at her, but she moves out of the way very easily.
Farthnar.
Farthnar, seeing the insane amount of damage that Varun is doing to the flesh guard, moves up to get a clearer shot and hopefully finish the monstrosity. And I believe I have running shots, so I'm not worried about any negative modifier. So we'll do a power attack, see if we can get it killed.
Oh, is that a crit again? That's going to be a power of 4. That's a kill.
As it retaliates against Varun and tries to damage her, he sees an opening as it lifts its arm with its gigantic sword and puts an arrow through a gap in its armor, and arrow shoots through the opening and then ends up lodged with the shaft pointing out one of its eye sockets, and it collapses back into the ground and ceases to move.
Hunter.
Hunter, seeing that the flesh guard has been dealt with, is actually impressed internally, but doesn't say any, doesn't verbalize it. Those are usually very difficult to deal with. And turns to see the remaining creature, the hag, and will take his shots to deal with it.
And you can see that she's been wounded by the other Sundered as they were attacking each other. Oh, gosh.
It's my night. Give me the fumble table.
Oh
Oh.
no! That's
Ah,
good.
bowstring snaps.
Well, in that case, Hunter just curses as the string snaps and drops the bow. Useless. And he just will unsheath his spear. And is that area still covered in the haze from the potion then, as far as I can tell?
The potion, the haze seems to have dissipated now, or it is dissipating.
It would probably still be affected, but it's going to be the nearest person to attack now is Grumbled.
Yeah, Hunter's not worried too much about it. He's trying to deal with this thing, but frustrated with his lack of ability in this fight, and we'll just do a full-on charge towards it.
Nice. You gonna rage it?
I'll use the 2 frenzy to do it.
Cool. Now this one is... Hey! It's a hit. And it's a kill.
Yeah, so he drops his bow, quickly holsters a spear from his back, and rushes over and just quickly runs it through the chest and brings it to the ground and stabs it through the skull a few times for good measure. Re-holsters the spear, tersely walks back over to collect his bow, getting to restring it, muttering to himself.
And you can see they all kind of turn to ash and start to dissipate, and even the large one is starting to crumble a bit, and, leaving behind a battered executioner sword if anybody wants to take that.
Oh, probably not.
Yeah, I think your axe is probably better than
Oh,
it,
it's
but
so much better.
what is your axe? Oh, maybe not.
Oh, I am specialized in them, though.
Yeah, that's true. You're a badass with the axe.
Yeah.
I mean, Farknar has a short sword, but I seem to do a lot better with the...
Yeah. Does anybody want to take that?
I could not wield it, and I wouldn't touch that accursed item anyway.
And you notice the subways, or the sewers keep moving on, but there is the light of the moon, or the light of the day, spilling in from over there by the stairs. Are you guys heading on out that way?
For sure, I think.
Yes.
All right. And it doesn't take you long to when you get up outside into the streets, you notice the fog is everywhere. The fog, it's probably, you know that it's daytime. You know that it's probably midday by the looks of it, but the fog has gotten so bad that it might as well be nighttime. You don't think that the undead would be affected by the light of the stars. You also can see in the distance the houses everywhere. You guys are in the crafts district, back in that area with the 2-story houses and the stone pathways and everything. You have a chance now if you want to lay low for a while. You could probably find some cover in one of these houses, or do you want to head straight for the Jarls? It's up to you guys what you want to do.
Hunter would look at all of them, seeing that they haven't had really a chance to breathe since going into the underbelly of the church. He looks at his quiver, sees very few arrows remaining. I want to get there soon, but we should take a second. Recollect ourselves and prepare. We probably won't have another chance.
Keltail nods. She reaches into her pack and she starts passing out some food, some water that she had collected. We should take a moment and build up a little bit of strength.
Fionn looks antsy. You can see she's still pacing around, still burning off the excess energy. And you can see she constantly kind of looks out towards the manor itself. And finally, she just stops pacing, looks to the rest, and nods her head. Yeah, it will be a good idea to rest. No reason in charging in headlong.
Does Firen look hurt at all? Or did she just kind of shrug off that?
She does look a little... She got a bit scratched up, but nothing serious.
As they sit there eating, Keltiel will put her hand in her pocket again and she'll clutch the symbol of Ghana and close her eyes and just say a silent prayer of thanks for bringing them out of it.
Fionn will look to the dwarf. How are you? You look slightly injured.
Hey, lass, but don't you worry about me.
Does he have any significant injuries? Or are they just a couple hit points?
Yeah, he's 28 or so down, but...
Okay. Kelt will hand you an herb. She'll say, chew this.
Grumble will take it, and he just smells it. What is it?
Keltiel rolls her eyes. Just, it will help. It gives you plus D12 hit regen. So actually over the course of, you'll be healed up over the course of the next hour.
Grumble, again, looking at the herb, looks back to Keltiel and then pops it in his mouth, remembering that the mage said that the fire-haired or flame-haired woman was an alchemist, so he would believe that she would probably know a thing or two.
When you guys are in the streets there, like kind of leaning against the wall, Keltiel whispered her prayer. hold it. You could see she was holding the holy symbol too. Keltiel, you do notice that there is a house there. You might be able to find shelter in there, or at least get off the street if you guys want to lay low for a bit. I mean, it's up to you if you guys want to rest for a full night, but there was some urgency. If you guys recall, there was at least one more night before something happened. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Keltiel looks up and does she still have the astral vision? I mean, all this happened actually probably pretty quickly.
yeah, you could still, it'd still be going on right now.
Okay. Well, I'll say that she looks up at that house, and as she finishes her prayer, that house just seems to take on a kind of an aura. It just feels like good and safe. And she points to it and says, I think there we should take shelter. Get out of the street.
Can't take too long, but I agree.
Small rest. But only small.
It'll do us all some good. A chance to restock and get ready for a very serious threat we're about to face.
There are many horrors within the manor itself. Not to mention my father. We're going to be in for well, some of us may die. I do not doubt that. But all we can do is hope for the best.
Keltiel starts moving toward the house, kind of tugs on Hunter and Farthnar's sleeve as she starts walking. Come, I have a feeling about this place.
Farthnar obviously follows along.
Hunter seems a bit confused by that, but will follow.
You notice the door opens up rather easily. It wasn't locked or anything. There's still wood by the fireplace. Cupboards still seem intact. Looks like it didn't take much damage during the attack. Possibly no one was home, but there's still candles that you can light, and shutters. You can keep them closed if you like, or leave them open to look out into the streets. There's more than a few beds as well, a few rooms if you needed privacy for the evening. And you notice some of the shelves. There's a few pieces of armor still left in here, as well as a few weapons. And on that shelf, you find some bowstrings. You find a bow in there. It's not as cool as yours. But there are other weapons too, like throwing axes, and there's a pouch of silver in there if you wanted to melt some silver down and make some silver arrowheads. Fireplace, things like that. Bandages in the cupboard. Still some food.
Keltiel's going to start rummaging through the armor and see if any of it's the kind that she would be able to wear.
Yeah, definitely. You can find some leather armor, and it looks like you remember how the undead were being sent down to kind of raid different portions of the city. And it looks like this place was kind of overlooked altogether, or perhaps they never got a chance to look at it, come into it. So it does kind of makes the perfect house to hide away in, or to loot.
Yeah, after shutting the shutters, I think that's best if we're going to have light on inside. And I think they all just look around and find what they can. Keltiel will look to the others and say, I suggest we maybe not a full rest, but an hour or two to close our eyes and prepare mentally and physically.
Good idea. How far away is the manor from here?
It is about, it would be about a 30-minute walk down the main road across the bridge, but the bridge was destroyed. So you could take the river.
Oh,
You could take the stream across, or you could find some way to get across, rope across the gorge there. So it might end up being either boat, just swimming, or creating some kind of, rope across the gorge to get back over there. And what is your plan going to be to get back over there?
I could do it. I could tie a rope to the other side. I mean, Keltiel will, if you find the rope and we decide that that's, and we're discussing how to do that, she'll say, I can use this. She pulls out the wand. It has a spell in it. I can move the rope and tie it on the other side.
Hunter, as he's doing things with the arrowheads and making the arrows, he thinks on it. And it would be difficult to go across with the rope, but we could maybe have a strongest of us, the heaviest of us, with ropes around them, all tie ourselves together so we don't drop into the gorge.
Viren looks back. If you want to tie off to me, that's fine.
He nods and thinks on it. That would probably be the fastest way. It'd be safer to take the river, but it would take more time. We don't have time for that.
Well, it sounds like we have a plan then.
It sounds like it. It's going to be dangerous going quickly. But it really is the only way.
We'll worry about it when the time comes. We've got a little time. Make whatever preparations you can.
Keltiel nods. I will go find some place quiet, study for a bit, and then rest. She looks at Farthnar. You still don't look altogether like yourself. You should rest too.
Farthnar had been kind of collecting arrows as they had come together with a plan, and looks at Keltia and kind of gives her a little nod. And yes, laying down and resting sounds good.
Brune, you came across before they had burnt the
Ah.
bridge
Gotcha.
with some other fellow who his
Mhm.
what does Grumbled, what's he gonna do? I mean, do you want to go back to your camp? Do you want to tell them about that place, or do you
Does
trust?
Grumbold have the ability to make silver stuff? Does he have any smithing ability or crafting ability? Grumbold, do you know how to work silver?
I unfortunately, lass, my skills are more geared towards seafaring and, of course, trading.
Unfortunate. But this is fine. Thank you, dwarf, for helping us get out of there.
Yes, we are in your debt. If you feel you need to get back, you have our thanks.
It was my duty. I feel I was, like I said, I was sent there.
I think you might have been.
That wizard, Talthar, he said go to the town of Scotty, and you'll find a ranger, a flame-haired alchemist, a shield maiden, and a hunter who wears a mask. You'll find them underground, near a church.
So, who is this wizard exactly? What is his stock in all of this?
Talthar Fargazer. He said he read the signs, tales of plague, destruction, and living dead coming down from the north. A growing darkness had consumed the lands, and that we all must help.
And did he just send you on your way? Is it just you here?
I here for now, yeah. But my boy, he's back a ways. I have a camp. He's back there.
You should go back to your boy then.
There were some other villagers here hiding under a house. Could you check on them and perhaps take them with you if you find them?
I don't know about hiding under a house, but I found many survivors in the two-story house. My son and I, we saved them. We took them out.
What were their names?
Excuse me, did you say son?
Aye, son.
And where is he now?
He's back, protecting the survivors.
Farknar kind of looks surprised and goes, where are they now? Are they out? Are they in the home? Are they hiding? It's not safe for these villagers to be out.
No, there's a hiding place. We had a cave, and we had supplies there. My boy, he went back to guard them. It's a ways outside of town, of course.
Keltiel describes the people that they had under the house that they were helping. Are those the same people that Grumbold found?
Yes.
One of them went by the name of Grill. Was an armor.
Oh, thank goodness. You should leave. You should take them all and go to Hammerfall.
That was where we were headed. But as I said, Tathar said, my path lies with you.
Farthnar kind of is quiet for a moment, then kind of speaks up. Maybe I should take them.
Keltiel looks to him with a wounded expression, but bites her lip. If that's what you feel called to do.
Farthnar looks to the other group members to see what their thoughts are on getting the villagers as far away from Score as possible.
Fionn looks up at Farthanar and she's cleaning off her axe. Well, if that's what you feel you need to do. Unfortunately, I think after this, Score is going to be too tainted. No matter if we defeat this thing or not, there won't be anything to really rule over afterwards. Having the citizens escorted out, they are the primary here. They need to be taken care of. And Farthanar, if you believe that you can be the one to do that, I encourage you.
Hunter is saving a fair bit of silver off to the side, but using some other for some arrowheads, and he nods in agreement. You know the woods better than anyone. You can keep them off the roads in case the dead have sent out scouting parties. It makes sense.
Farthnar kind of looks to Keltia turning away and looks to the group and goes, it's not that I don't have reasons to stay, but these people they've seen enough. They don't need to be here when you guys go after these foul creatures and send them back to the hells from which they came. They deserve a shot at surviving this.
Well, I'm sorry that you were so disfigured, Farthanar. She kind of looks him up and down. You know what I mean. But I thank you for traveling with us. It was an honor to meet you.
And an honor to meet you as well. Thank you for helping us and saving us in that building, which seems like forever ago.
Well, it was fun to climb the side of a building and help save a group of people.
Go ahead.
Farthnar kind of goes over to Hunter and realizes kind of the decision's been made and puts a outstretched hand to shake his and go, good hunting. Kill these bastards for me.
Every last one. And he puts down the arrow he was holding and shakes Barthnar's hand.
While all this is happening, Grumble is sort of looking down to the ground because he really doesn't have any emotional ties to any of these people and doesn't really know them outside of just having stumbled upon them and then, I guess, helping out a little. He begins to kind of search his person for anything that perhaps only he and Dritch would kind of recognize. And would he have anything like that, Rogue?
Have anything like what?
Like any kind of personal item that just Grumbled and Dritch would sort of recognize as being Grumbled?
Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, like an amulet or a ring or something, sure.
Yeah. Okay, so Grumbled will pull a ring from his hand, and he walks over to Farthnar. Give this to me, boy. You'll find him just outside of town, and as I said, he's in a cave. Just give him this, and he'll understand. And tell him I'll meet him in the afterlife.
Farthnar takes it and nods to him and goes, "I will. I'll make sure your son gets back to Hammerfall safely."
I'd appreciate that.
Farthnar kind of slowly turns to Keltiel, knowing this goodbye would be the hardest, and kind of goes down and sits over by her and watches what she's doing with her braid.
So it sounds like you are leaving. Leaving now.
I'll be leaving soon, yes.
And she looks down at her hands and nod at Farthnar, and you can tell that she's trying to remain stoic, or relatively stoic. Well, thank you for being here. If it wasn't for you, I think I might have fallen all to pieces here.
Farthnar kind of smiles and stands up and kind of gives an outstretched hand for her to get up so he can kind of lead her outside because he doesn't want an audience.
She'll look at his hand and then takes it, follows him.
He kind of, once they're alone, he kind of looks to her and kind of more softly spoken. It's like, look, you helped me find something that I thought that I had lost long ago, and it was hope. And I don't want to be leaving, and you know how I feel about you, but these people, they deserve a chance, and I'm the best person for the job to see them. And plus, and he kind of holds her hands and thinks back to all the things she's done with them, and you barely need my protection anyway.
She looks up at him and smiles and says, well, maybe not, but who is going to carry me next time?
From what I've seen, you don't need my help anymore. And he kind of brings a hand up from hers and puts it at the back of her neck and kind of brings her in for a kiss and tells her, once I get these people to safety, I promise I'll find you.
And as she leans away from him, she smiles a little and whispers, "You better." And she pulls out a small dagger and gives him kind of a funny smile, like, I'm not going to cut you. And she cuts off a lock of her hair that she had unbraided She says, "Keep this." And then she reaches up and grabs a piece of his and cuts it off. And she holds it up and she says, "Now, if you don't find me, I can always find you."
He smiles, understanding what she's saying, and goes, "Well, that certainly beats me blindly traipsing through the woods looking for you, calling out your name now, doesn't it?"
She shrugs and laughs. "Well, I will keep listening for my name, just in case." And with that, she puts her arms around him and gives him another long kiss, and then pulls away and says, "You keep them safe. You be their hope now."
I'll provide them hope just as you did for me. And with that, he kind of turns and goes to leave.
Keltiel stands there watching him for a few minutes. And as he kind of fades into the shadows, she wipes a tear from her cheek and takes a deep breath. And then she turns around and walks back inside and shuts the door quietly behind her.
And takes off.
You cutting out there, Rogue?
Oh, can you guys hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can see the snow starts to fall before you close the door. A little bit of light shining through the fog there to kind of remind you about this place and about the prayer, perhaps, Keltiel. And kind of have a feeling of hope, maybe, that it might be okay. And knowing that he's going to be able to take those people, at least it was foretold anyway, to take those people back to Hammerfall. And the camera kind of pans across Skore back to the Jarl's mansion, where you can see those winged creatures flying around it and the dark clouds. The dark clouds kind of forming and swirling around the tower in some weird, strange way. And this roar is heard out over as a large winged undead creature lands on top of the manor. And that's where we'll end it for tonight.